Napoli prepared to take on Fiorentina in this eagerly awaited Serie A encounter. What gives, I wonder? Two sides who've shown attacking swagger this season and scored plenty of goals, but who've also been good at shutting the door at the other end. Napoli have conceded only one goal in the last 4 matches, while Fiorentina have kept 5 clean sheets in 7 games. Well, it's almost time for the players to enter the arena. It's an arena that hasn't changed very much over the years, to San Paolo. Trevor Francis alongside me in the commentary position. Trevor, we saw some shots earlier at the start of the programme of Napoli-Fiorentina in the good old days when Maradona was playing, and you played against Maradona in that stadium for Sampdoria.
I certainly did. I mean, in the 80s, it was the place to play in Italy. So many outstanding footballers there. You mentioned Maradona, the likes of Socrates, Rummenigge, Zico, Platini. But for me, Maradona was the greatest player that I certainly played against. I also had the good fortune, my last year in Italy, when I was at Atalanta, up in Bergamo, to play against Maradona's Napoli. And at the end of the game, we actually exchanged shirts.
And that's presumably that's one that's probably got pride of place somewhere.
Well, it certainly is. You know, I never thought I'd see anyone that could come near to Maradona, but at the moment we should feel privileged that we're watching week in, week out Messi and Ronaldo doing some incredible things.
You know, for a moment there, I thought you were going to say, oh, I don't know, it's in the loft somewhere. I've got no real idea where it is. Because I have spoken to Olympic gold medalists in the past who said, oh, it's somewhere, it's in a drawer somewhere, I don't know.
Well, I presented it to my young child, Matthew, at the time, and you know, I was quite excited about it, and when I gave it to him, he said, oh, I don't like it, it's too big for me.
Well, there's the man who captains Napoli these days, Marek Hamšík, the Slovakia international, as the two teams prepare to enter the arena. Big changes at Napoli on the coaching front, with Maurizio Sarri coming in, but they really seem to be taking on board what he's trying to tell them. The results are improving. They've got some good results against big sides. You know, they've beaten Juventus. They absolutely thrashed Milan as well last time out.
Yes, I think their current league position is slightly false. I think that come the end of the season, they're going to be one of the teams that are going to be battling to win the Scudetto. I think that both teams have been greatly encouraged, Napoli and Fiorentina, by the stuttering start that Juventus have made. Nobody anticipated that. It's a bit like in England with Chelsea. No one anticipated that, but the others are there to take advantage of it. Over the last 3 or 4 years, the closest to Juventus have been Roma, and they're right on the tails of Fiorentina.
But what about this Fiorentina side? It's a stunning start to the season that they've made. 6 wins out of 7, absolutely fine. But of course they are in the Europa League as well. Have they got the strength in depth, do you think, to really keep this run going through the heart of the Italian winter?
Well, I watched a lot of them last year under Montella, and I was a little surprised when he left the club. But they're doing great this season. Just recently, they had a huge test against high-flying Inter Milan, the San Siro. I watched that game, and I was really impressed with Fiorentina. Obviously, Inter Milan had a player sent off, but take nothing away from the Fiorentina performance. They won comfortably 4-1, and that said to me, this is a team they're going to challenge for the Scudetto this season. I think at the end of last season, you know, their top player was Salah on loan from Chelsea, and it was a huge disappointment to Fiorentina fans when Salah left them to join Roma, and there wasn't too much activity in the transfer market. But that's not always necessary. Ask Arsene Wenger about that.
Well, absolutely. And you look at their side that they've got, and yes, they've got the likes of Błaszczykowski, who's coming on loan from Borussia Dortmund. Kalinic is doing well, and Ilicic has scored some goals too. But Marcos Alonso, was already there, has improved greatly this season on the left-hand side, and also still the man who in many ways makes them tick. It's the unsung hero of the side, Borja Valero, in the heart of the midfield.
Yes, and many English supporters forget that he played at West Brom, where he was more than useful in the centre of the midfield. But I'm interested in this Fiorentina side because not too many teams actually over the last 20-30 years win a Scudetto playing with 3 at the back. Of course, supporters will say, yes, Conte did it on numerous occasions with Juventus. I understand that. But apart from Juventus, the majority of teams who have won the championship in Italy always play with a back 4.
Two of the most entertaining teams in Serie A this season. Fiorentina leading the way going into the weekend, with Napoli 6 points behind them, but in fine form after beating Milan 4-0 away in their last game. And they certainly had the sign over Fiorentina last season as well. Napoli winning both matches, Fiorentina not managing to score a goal in those two games. 3-0 at the San Paolo and 1-0 in Tuscany. As ever, the faithful producing quite an atmosphere in this increasingly ramshackle stadium. It needs a good deal of renovation. It's an ongoing argument between the club and the council, which turned a little bit nasty this week, but at least the game is able to take place here, and hopefully in the future they will be able to get something sorted out. There's the main goal threat, Gonzalo Higuain. He scored some big goals already this season. 2 against Sampdoria, 2 against Lazio, and the winner against the champions Juventus. 2-1. Napoli successful that particular day. Pepe Reina there, back at Napoli. Happy to be back playing, I should think, after that frustrating season with Bayern Munich. And a story after his season on loan at Roma last year, settling in nicely in the Fiorentina back line. The man in the middle today is Luca Banti, who took charge of Sweden against Moldova in the European Championship qualifiers this week. It's his second Napoli match of the season. He took charge of their 2-2 draw with Empoli. Paulo Sousa, the coach of Fiorentina, settling in seamlessly into his new role. And we're almost ready to go. Paulo Sousa, by the way, 6 wins from 7 to start the season, as we've mentioned already. He's done that before, by the way, as a coach at both Maccabi Tel Aviv and at Basel, and both of those teams went on to win the title. Quick reminder of the team news before we get underway here. Napoli's team news pretty straightforward. They're unchanged from the team that beat Milan last time out a couple of weeks ago. And as for Fiorentina, well, not surprisingly, just the one change for them. Matthias Vecino playing instead of Josip Ilicic. Ilicic on the bench. There's Borja Valero, of whom we were speaking not so long ago, one of the players who really makes Fiorentina tick. And Alan there in the heart of the Napoli midfield has been an excellent summer buy from Udinese as well. As referee Banti gets us underway, both teams in their traditional colours, and the Viola kicking from right to left in this first half here, looking to make a bright start in what is a really tough test for the league leaders. Napoli unbeaten at home in the early going, very good in front of their own fans, as has traditionally been the case. And the last time they failed to score at home, actually, in the league was over a year ago. But perhaps an early opportunity here for Fiorentina to put a bit of pressure on Pepe Reina's goal. And Valero with the kick, away by Marek Hamšík. Bernardeschi got a little touch. The attempted cross back in by Badel. Not quite working, and the ball out, rather hurried and a little high for Higuain.
Well, it's a great opportunity for Fiorentina to put Napoli under early pressure, but surprisingly the delivery from Valero, normally so accurate with his delivery, was pretty poor.
First touch of the ball for Tomovic, part of that three-man back line for Fiorentina, the Serbian international. knocking the ball forward. A little interception there by Badel once again, but referee Banti quick with the whistle. And it's Napoli who get us underway once again with Koulibaly playing in the heart of their defence, the Senegal international. A lot of these players, of course, back from international duty, and Koulibaly among them, having played in Senegal's 1-0 defeat to Algeria on Tuesday night.
It's always a great advantage for Napoli playing here at home in the San Paolo. Many stadiums throughout Italy are terrific to play at, but for me, the most passionate supporters are certainly those at Napoli. In the days of Maradona, they often used to say that to go to the game, they used to perhaps go without food to save money to get to the match.
Unbelievable now. Challenge on the halfway line falls for Tomovic. Going short this time, and Valero is available inside the centre circle. Switch to this near side, and Marcos Alonso, who's chipped in with a couple of goals this season, but was a little over-enthusiastic in trying to win the ball there in the eyes of referee Luca Banti.
I think Highside's a little fortunate to get away with this. Perhaps there's a little pull there, but certainly determined play from the left wing-back Alonso. Another player that English viewers will remember. I mentioned Valero playing for West Brom, but Alonso, he also played in English football. I think it was with Bolton, wasn't he?
Bolton Wanderers, it's Hamsik. Feeds it out wide. First touch of the ball in the match now for Lorenzo Insigne. Cutting inside, looking for Higuain. It's away by Gonzalo Rodriguez. And Alan a little wayward this time. Nice, intense early tempo to this one.
Fiorentina are not phased at all about coming here. Often teams freeze when they come and play in this stadium in front of a packed house, but you can see that Fiorentina, top of the league, they believe they've got every right to be there. Everybody wants possession of the ball. There's an air of confidence about them.
Absolutely, they've started this match with the swagger of league leaders, as the ball played out by Davide Astori to Błaszczykowski, the Poland international. Poland, of course, one of those teams through to the European Championship finals next summer without having to resort to the playoffs following that slender win over the Republic of Ireland. And Valero keen to get the game moving quickly, and Marcos Alonso taking on Elsed Husay gets the better of the Albanian here, and it was very nearly an opportunity there for Bernardeschi. Early attacking intent shown by Fiorentina.
Yeah, once again, Alonso very prominent on this left-hand side, looking to get forward. Waste no time in delivering that ball into the box. They often say the best way to keep the home team quiet is by keeping possession of the ball, not allowing them to have it. Well, Fiorentina have done that, but all it's done is increased the noise. I think everyone in the ground have been whistling for the last couple of minutes when Fiorentina have had good possession.
Alzigulum getting forward on that far side of the field. The Algerian has Higuain. Short is gone to Insigne, and the players are waiting just for a moment there. The flag eventually raised, but Higuain mightily frustrated. He didn't get the ball.
You can see Insigne probably a yard offside. He's been outstanding in the early part of this season, Insigne. They missed him so much last season. Out for long periods with a serious injury. He's back now and showing no signs of any problems. He's made a full recovery, which is great news for Napoli and also for Conte, the Italian manager.
Well, absolutely, and Insigne really seems to be flourishing under the guidance of the new coach Maurizio Sarri. More of that in a moment now, because here comes Nikola Kalinic, and just sliding in to prevent that going behind for a goal kick. Kalinic has made a good impression so far with that hat-trick in the win away to Inter. Very emphatic win as well by 4-1, and another player, of course, who used to spend a bit of time playing in England with Blackburn Rovers in the past, now plying his trade in the Peninsula. Here's Marcos Alonso. Gonzalo Rodriguez. Husai in there ahead of Alonso this time. Well, it'll be fascinating to see what does give here, because as we mentioned, both teams have got such an array of attacking talent on view, and attacking intent we've seen in the first few minutes of the game as well, particularly from Fiorentina, but both of them have been quite stingy at the back so far. Fiorentina with that three-man back line, but Napoli changing things under their new coach this season, going to a 4, having played with the 3 a lot under Rafa Benitez before. That seems to have really solidified them. Here's Koulibaly. He's got Gulam to his left. Trying to break free, testing the legs of Nenad Tomovic. Koulibaly. Able to get that one past Bernardeschi. Here's Kalinic, being watched closely by Albiol. Borja Valero up in support. He's going to head towards the far post here. Headed away by Husai, only as far as Valero. This is Alonso now for Fiorentina. Napoli with the composure to try and play their way out from the back, and Callejon in the end was having to stretch. Vecino. Gonzalo Rodriguez. Tomovic. Higuain loitering, hassling, harrying, urging his teammates to get a little bit further forward too in support.
Yeah, Higuain feels that they're playing a little bit deep. He wants them to get on the front foot, get players up to support him. I think he's a cracking player, Higuain. Probably the best striker in Italy this season, after Tevez left Juventus last year and went back to his homeland, Argentina. I thought Tevez was quite outstanding last year, the best player in Italian football, but Higuain, he's a top striker.
And always much wanted in every transfer window. There was some debate as to how he would get on with Sarri, of course, who this is the first time that he's had to really deal with big-name players, having come up with Empoli and had just the one season in Serie A. And Higuain, you know, by all accounts, perhaps not always the easiest player to manage, but he really seems to be performing well and enjoying life under Napoli's new coach. It does look as if the team have really bought into his exacting and demanding tactical requirements. Here's Callejon now for Napoli.
Callejon, another ex-Real Madrid player. Higuain played so well at Real Madrid, and I was, like many, rather surprised when he was allowed to move on. There was always this debate, who should play, Benzema or Higuain.
Well, they've got a real abundance of attacking riches, haven't they, Napoli? When you look at the likes of Mertens, the Belgian on the bench, and Manolo Gabbiadini as well from your old club Sampdoria, who they bought at the start of the year, who can't get in the starting 11. Tend to appear in most games off the bench. Little word in the ear for Alan, the Napoli midfielder, from Luca Banti, the referee. Banti, by the way, a regular on the international scene, the European Championship qualifiers and the Europa League. He's in charge of the Ajax Celtic game already this season. Alzi Gulen with the throw. Insigne, the touch by Higuain. Alan. Albiol. Husai, the young Albania international. It's Kalinic closing down Albiol there. Husai getting forward, but Vecino be making the interception. Vecino coming into the team today. Vecino, by the way, used to play for Maurizio Sarri on loan at Empoli last season. He played every game bar 2, so Sarri will know all about him. It's in towards Callejon. He was trying to find Alan.
That was real. Just leave it there for a moment.
And real determination there from Alan, and the additional assistant was no more than about a yard away, and clearly felt that there was no foul.
Well, the additional assistant was doing what he normally does in that situation. Absolutely nothing.
Well, I did see him move his hand and wag his finger as if to say no. That's more than they usually do.
I was about to comment on the amount of space that Callejon found himself in from a throw-in. When you consider how tight Fiorentina are defensively, I was rather surprised he received that kind of space.
Albiol with the clearance. Get another one of those former Real Madrid players of whom Trevor was just talking, as Goulam now getting forward, trying to bring Insigne into the play. I think the ball may have just gone off there, and despite the howls of protestation from the stands, that is, of course, a decision given by the officials. But Insigne was the star of the show in the last match, certainly. He's been excellent this season in particular, but with the 2 goals at San Siro, and his dad has celebrated his son's brace in that match by having a special tattoo done on the inside of his right forearm. I've seen a picture of it, very impressive it is too. It shows Insigne's celebration in front of a sunset on the Naples coast, and it has the date on it, so goodness knows what he'll get done if they go on and win the Scudetto.
In this system, he has to operate majority of the time on the left-hand side, but I think he's got the ability to play in that kind of free role just in behind Higuain, where he can play right across the line, because he can find little pockets of space, and he's got the craft and the guile to hurt teams, has an eye for goal. I think ultimately that will be his best position, in behind the front.
Yeah, you can almost see him licking his lips at the very prospect of a role like that in the side. But here come Fiorentina though, with Bernardeschi happy to settle for the throw. That was Kalidou Koulibaly swiftly moving across. Bernardeschi, Italian under-21 international, got himself sent off actually during the week in their game against the Republic of Ireland under-21s. This is Alonso, slightly misplaced, putting pressure on Borja Valero. Callejon was rather looking for a free kick there.
Well, the referee put his whistle to his mouth, was about to blow for a free kick, and then decided against it.
Gonzalo Rodriguez forward. Touch there from Błaszczykowski, was fouled by Goulam. Well, there's no way the referee is going to allow the free kick to be taken from there. Here it is once again.
I always find it interesting looking at the different interpretations, slightly different I should say, between Italian and English football, because if that had been in English football, I think that would have resulted in an immediate yellow card.
No hint of a yellow card from the referee on that occasion. Duel to be continued over on that far side of the field with Błaszczykowski. Just good to see him playing regularly again after his injury problems. Alan forward, little touch by Higuain, finding Marek Hamšík. This is Insigne now. Callejon and Higuain wait inside the box. Insigne, twinkle-toed, but forced away from the penalty area this time.
Look how many Fiorentina players have got behind the ball. Kalinic being the lone forward. They look to try and attack in numbers, but when they lose possession, they work incredibly hard, Fiorentina, to get players back behind the ball, to nullify the space as quickly as possible.
Exactly what Manchester United did at Goodison yesterday against Everton. They were as impressive when they weren't in possession as they were when they did have the ball. It was an excellent performance. Patricianu, who's had nothing to do so far in the opening quarter of an hour of the match. I think Paulo Sousa will be very happy with the way his team has started this game. Oh, what a lovely piece of control there by Nikola Kalinic. Superb play, and now Błaszczykowski. Bernardeschi's up with him. Błaszczykowski, who could save there by Pepe Reina, and mopped up and then ultimately cleared to Marek Hamšík.
Well, I can't believe the amount of space that the left full-back Gulam gave to Błaszczykowski there, because he likes to come in on his left foot, and the moment he got himself a yard of space, he was always going to strike with his left foot, and it was a good save from Reina.
Tempers raised there for the first time in the match. Alain not very happy of the challenge of Vecino, but this was a lovely piece of skill. And here's the shot again, bringing the first save of the match from Pepe Reina.
Strong hand from Pepe Reina. Probably would have liked to have pushed it wide of the goal, pushed it back into the centre. And when you do that, you risk an oncoming forward sticking it back past you into the net. But he got away with it. For him, fortunately, it fell to a Napoli defender.
Here's the incident again, which has resulted in the stoppage in play. The effort from Błaszczykowski.
Got to get closer, hasn't he, Gulam? Can't allow him that kind of space.
Gulam will need to be careful as well when he's tested over by Błaszczykowski on that far side, because he does tend to dive in at various points. He got himself sent off for Algeria only last week. He was sent off in this fixture 2 seasons ago, and already got away with one where he fouled Błaszczykowski over on the far touchline. Koulibaly with the ball forward. This is Nenad Tomovic. Hamšík. Fiorentina's ball. Fiorentina with 2 wins from 3 matches on the road so far in the early going. And away by Pepe Reina. Under a bit of pressure here. We've got plenty of live football for you today across the continent. In Ligue 1, Bordeaux at home to Montpellier this afternoon. It's on BT Sport 2 from 3:45, while on BT Sport Europe at 4:30 it's Stuttgart against Ingolstadt in the Bundesliga. And finally on the European football show from 6:30, the Derby d'Italia, Inter against Juventus. So we're certainly finishing off Sunday in style with the match live from the Giuseppe Meazza in Milan. An interesting sign of the times is Callejon considers whether he needs some treatment. That actually, you could say, really, arguably, this match is possibly more eagerly awaited among football fans than the Inter-Juve game later, maybe.
2 cracking games. Of course, you know, the days when we used to talk about Catenaccio, before my time, I add, but in my time, often you'd see a 0-0 or a team looking to try and sneak a 1-0. Doesn't happen now. Totally different approach from teams, not just in Italy, but throughout Europe. Very difficult these days to name good defenders.
Yeah, but it's always been very much part of the Italian game, hasn't it? Traditionally, the fine art of defending. As Alain tries to break open the Fiorentina defence here. But Napoli, for all their attacking prowess, have yet to create anything on Tatarushanu's goal. Is that about to change here now? Pasaya with the ball in, and a rather hurried hack at it from Alonso. Done a great job so far, Paolo Sousa. He looks the part as well, doesn't he, on the touchline there, suited and booted. Jorginho with this corner for Napoli. Quite sure what he had in mind there. Hamšík. Alain. Oh, Jorginho again. Hamšík getting away from the defence. Cutting in behind Vecino. This is Gulam. Jorginho again will try and pull the strings from the middle of the pitch. Gulam. Insigne. Soon faced by a two Fiorentina players when he gets the ball as Hamšík fires the shot in, and it's the first save, albeit a straightforward one for Ciprian Tatarusanu.
Yeah, round of applause from the home supporters because they're actually witnessing an attempt on goal. It's taken almost 22 minutes. Let's return to that corner that Napoli took some 2 minutes ago. I was quite surprised to see only 3 Napoli players actually in the penalty box when that corner was taken. I don't think you'd see that anywhere in Europe this weekend.
Fiorentina quick to get bodies back behind the ball anytime Napoli get near their penalty area. Napoli finding them very hard to break down here in the opening quarter of the match. Hamšík looking for Callejon, and a fine interception, a timely one too, from Marcos Alonso. Also can't get the better of Alan, who retrieves possession for Napoli. The crowd really urging the home team forward here.
You just saw an example there of a player, that player being Callejon, having 2 opportunities to get himself turned. There was nobody behind him. Get yourself turned and start to make forward progress, but he just dropped it off far too easily.
Asai lost out again to Marcos Alonso there. He's certainly not had the better of their encounters so far in this first half. This is Albiol, and now Hamšík coming deeper to retrieve possession. Insigne making a darting run forward. Hamšík spotted him. Cleared away by Gonzalo Rodriguez. Vecino leaving it for Badel. Now Alonso. Well, it's been a quieter 23.5 minutes than Tatarusanu in the Fiorentina goal might have expected so far. Is that about to change? It's with Higuain, who is challenged just as he pulled the trigger there, trying to get the shot in.
Well, he was clearly looking to shoot for goal. I thought his best option was to his right, Callejon. But I think that the Fiorentina player recognised that he was just about to pull the trigger, and he wasn't going to allow that. Once again, it's another example of, well, I was about to say, should be a yellow card. Well, the yellow card's been produced.
It was Badel coming back, who just caught the heel of Higuain. Both players back on their feet. Badel in the referee's notebook. And an opportunity for Napoli here. The reluctant retreat of the Viola defence. The referee's desired white line. There's Tatarusanu's view of things. Hamšík and Callejon on the end of that Fiorentina wall. Insigne, it's round the wall and into the gloves of Tatarusanu.
The fact that he actually catches it with 2 hands suggests that it wasn't too difficult to save for the goalkeeper. I think if he had been under more pressure, he would have had to have made that one-handed save, pushing it wide. But it was rather comfortable.
Yeah, I agree. I think there wasn't enough pace on the ball to really trouble the goalkeeper. He was able to see that one coming. Here's Borja Valero now. Touched by Jorginho. Hamšík. Insigne. Napoli coming into the game more and more, aren't they, after the promising start made by Fiorentina. Haven't really threatened the Napoli penalty area for a little while. Here's Asai. Albiol. Now Alan. Looking for Higuain. A touch from Marcos Alonso takes it out for a Napoli throw. Sarri with that throw in. Gets the corner, the underside of Marcos Alonso's boot.
Well, just like most modern-day fullbacks, high side, loves to get forward, attacks whenever given the opportunity.
Just about to say that, he looks happier going that way than he does when he's having to do his defensive duties, certainly in the first half.
Seems strange to see him actually there and not Maggio, who's been a fixture for so many years in that right-back position for Napoli.
Absolutely, Christian Maggio, one of the substitutes today. Maggio, who started the first 3 matches of the season, but has been on the bench ever since. Asai, a player who Sarri, the coach, knows very well, having previously had him at Empoli. Young Albanian with the throw in here for Napoli. Comfortably seen out by Borja Valero. It's a comfortable 3-0 win for Napoli when the two sides last met back in April on the same pitch, but a different scenario this time round. Touched by Bernardeschi. Kalinic underneath this one. Albiol wins it in the air. Hamšík. Higuain. Callejon. Breaks down, and Borja Valero was caught there by Jorginho, who goes straight in the referee's book.
I think he was caught, but I think that Valero also wanted to make sure that the referee spotted it. Rather over-exaggerated the fall. He wanted Jorginho to go into the book. I think he's got what he wanted.
Certainly late on Borja Valero. And the kick quickly taken there by Astori. Yellow card very quick to come out. Yellow card was almost out before Borja Valero had hit the turf. The referee took great exception to that challenge. Gonzalo Rodriguez forward. Here's Borja Valero. Then trips over his own feet. He's rather fortunate to have the ball back. Wojciechowski. He's been a little bit quiet for the last quarter of an hour. Vecino with space. Napoli dropping back to the edge of their own penalty area. Alonso now. Away from Callejon. Vecino. And Badal a little heavy-footed there in trying to bring Wojciechowski into the play. Right start from Fiorentina, Trevor, but Napoli seem to have settled into the game more.
Yes, I agree with that, but you would expect that, wouldn't you, from Napoli, being the home side, playing in front of 60, 70,000 supporters. They've got to have their fair share of possession. I think overall, after half an hour, you would say it's a fairly even contest. Neither side deserves to be in the lead.
Tomovic, Wojciechowski, Badal just trying to turn and find a little bit of space and spread the play. Bring Marcos Alonso into the game. Koulibaly sticking to Kalinic, picking the ball off his toes as well. Callejon, Alan, away from Vecino. Twice.
It's a clever bit of work by Alan, beating 2 or 3 players in such a small area. But they've got a good shape to them, Fiorentina. They're very compact as a team.
Kalinic again showing excellent close control. Wojciechowski, Badal. Again, they look in the general direction of Marcos Alonso, who always gets forward at every available opportunity on the left-hand side. And Alonso not troubling Pepe Reina this time.
I think Napoli are fortunate that Highside, the young fullback, is having to play against Alonso. With respect to Alonso, he's not what you call a flying winger. And I think, looking at this Napoli side, if there is a weakness, it's in the right back area. I think he's very, very nervous, the fullback, when he's been asked to defend. Going forward, not a problem.
Inside the last 15 minutes of the first half here. Close contest between two teams who've started the season well. Higuain. Milan, key part of that engine room for Napoli since his arrival in the summer. Jorginho. Comfortable in the end for Tatarashanu. Easy pass provided by a Story, who wasn't able to react to that pass along the ground from his goalkeeper, which seems surprising. He's in the perfect position there to receive that pass, a Story.
I was surprised when it actually went past him for a throw-in. I thought that the goalkeeper had done well. Nicely weighted pass.
Mattered not, though, because Fiorentina back in possession here now. Not for long, Albiol. Reina beaten just 7 times in the opening 7 matches of the season. They've been pretty tight at the back, Napoli. Fiorentina only conceded 4 so far all season, and 3 of those came in one game. They haven't conceded a single goal in the first half of any match. Really been greatly troubled by Napoli's attack in this opening half, up to now anyway. Koulibaly. He's looking for Hamšík, but really come close to finding it. Alan is in the thick of it once again, getting the better of Badel. Not for long, it's with Borja Valero, and again Alonso is forward to his left. Vecino. Oh, away from Jorginho, but again it was Alan getting his body in the way and making the tackle. Free kick against Vecino. Well, Alan is getting through a mountain of work in the Napoli midfield in this first half. As we see why the referee is blown and given a free kick to the home side. Big game this one, of course, for Maurizio Sarri, the coach of Napoli, born in Bagnoli in Naples, and a Napoli fan as a youngster, even after moving to Tuscany at the age of 5, and his family moved to just south of Florence. So this match probably has a bit more meaning for him than virtually all of the others that his team will play this coming season. Gulam, Insigne. Napoli will be looking to bring Insigne into the game a little bit more. Asai, Jorginho towards Callejon, swiftly challenged there by Astori. Valero into space, and Wojciechowski, Bernardeschi. Valero again, this time intercepted by Hamšík. Just to get things moving quickly for Napoli, trying to bring Callejon in, but Astori was waiting. This is Alonso. Less than 10 minutes to go to half-time. Nothing between these two in this first half. Albiol.
But the exchanges between the two teams at the moment all appear to be in the centre of the park. Just no room in there at all. They've got to look to try and get it in wider areas where they might have a bit more joy in terms of finding space.
Looking at space, there's a bit more now for Borja Valero. Wojciechowski just to his right, the challenge from Koulibaly, and the referee will bring the game back here.
Well, it was a stupid challenge, wasn't it, from Koulibaly, because the move had actually broken down. It was a misunderstanding between Valero and Wojciechowski. Koulibaly just followed through with the challenge, and he's clearly caught Valero. Gives them an opportunity now for this free kick.
It was a clumsy clattering, wasn't it, from Koulibaly? The untidy challenge.
Some would say a typical centre-half challenge. But not me, I wouldn't say that.
This must have been quite a difficult ground to go to. For any number of reasons. I mean, it must have been the sort of match to savour in many ways, but just a difficult venue to deal with.
It was, though, but it was one that, as a player, you always looked forward to. I remember my days at Sampdoria with Graham Souness, and he actually travelled down by plane to Naples on the Friday afternoon for a Sunday game. That gives you an indication of the kind of preparation that we used to put in for an away match. Weren't allowed outside the hotel. It wasn't possible to go outside the hotel. Supporters always milling around, looking to try and get a glimpse of players. But they were great days, and that Napoli side were a bit special, with Maradona there and Daniel Bertoni, another Argentinian. Having said that, Fiorentina had some great players. You mentioned earlier Roberto Baggio, one that I always talk about, who I found great difficulty trying to play against, was Daniel Passarella, Argentinian captain and also manager. I'm often asked, who's the most physical player you ever played against? He's one that I always mention.
I was about to say, I bet you got a whack or two, against Passarella. What an uncompromising, if excellent defender he was during his career. The free kick initially coming to nothing. Back with Kalinic again, who's got the better of Hysaj. Here now is Matthias Vecino. Stooping header from Wojciechowski. Borja Valero's trying to come back on. I think the referee's waved him back on, so Fiorentina back up to their full complement of 11. As Napoli look to break away here with Callejon. Insigne in loads of space, and highly unfortunate from Napoli's point of view that he couldn't get the ball past Badel in midfield.
That was a wasted opportunity for Napoli, because they should really have hit them quicker on the counter-attack. And of course, they were reduced to 10 men, because Valero, whilst he was being allowed back on, he was clearly out of position.
Insigne with the header. Tomovic robust with his challenge. This is Raul Albiol, who's been a real mainstay of the Napoli defence since his arrival. This is the second season in Italy for him. Hysaj into Hamšík, but Badel was able to just get the better of him. Borja Valero. Lovely, neat, tidy play in midfield. Not much room to work in, but Valero has shown that he doesn't really need it. And here he is now. The flag stays down, but Alain is there once again to mop up.
Certainly looked offside, and Valero not flagged, and really one-on-one with Alain, should have gone past him and delivered into the box. That was an opportunity wasted by Fiorentina.
A bit more from Fiorentina now, perhaps they're looking to finish the first half with a flourish here. Less than 5 minutes to go to the break. Borja Valero there showing no ill effects from the heavy challenge from Kalidou Koulibaly just a couple of minutes ago. He must have given that as a foul throw. Hysaj on by Higuain, but really to Milan Badel. Gonzalo Rodriguez. Free kick conceded by Albiol. with the challenge on Kalinic. Kalinic in good form, not just that hat-trick against Inter recently, but on target for Croatia last week against Bulgaria during the international break. Some nice touches in this first half. Hasn't really had a clear sighting of goal as of yet, though. Valero with the delivery, and racing forward was Marcos Alonso on the far side. What will he be thinking, Trevor? Paulo Sousa?
He'll be thinking that the first half has gone as well as what he could have expected. They haven't been outstanding, Fiorentina, but of the two teams, I think they've slightly edged it. I don't think Napoli will be overly concerned, because as long as they don't concede, they know in Higuain and Insigne, to a lesser degree Callahan, they've got players who can provide that little bit of invention, a little bit of magic, even when the team are not playing particularly well, can conjure up a goal.
We haven't quite seen that fluidity going forward from Napoli that they are capable of so far in this game. It hasn't quite clicked for them. And Fiorentina, a very difficult side to break down, not the only ones of course so far this season. Here's Fauzi Gula. Wojciechowski getting back goal side. A couple of minutes to go to the break. Probably have a couple of minutes of added time. Said Hesai. Albiol. Now Alan. Rolling towards Higuain. Gonzalo Rodriguez with the header away. Hesai. Alan with the delivery. Wojciechowski doesn't get his head on that. This is Insigne. Very quickly finding the avenues close and unable to pick out Marek Hamšík.
Well, that's the first occasion where Wojciechowski's been asked to defend, and he didn't do it particularly well. Napoli failed to really ask questions of him because he's not a wing-back. He's played all his career as an attacking right-sided midfield player, but in this system he has to do his defending, doesn't particularly relish it. And that was an occasion there where you could see his header was really, really weak.
It was something that you raised your eyebrows about before the kick-off, the presence of Wojciechowski in the role that he has with his new side during his loan from Borussia Dortmund, and certainly not a player known for his defensive qualities, rather more for his attacking abilities. Last few seconds of the opening 45 minutes. A story forward, straight onto the head of Raul Albiol. This is Jorginho. To added time, the end of this first half. 2 minutes of added time. Hesai. Alain, good play away from Marcos Alonso, away from two, and that was a dreadful challenge there by a story. Very cynical play from the Fiorentina defender.
Well, the referee's made a mistake, hasn't he? Not because he's brandished a yellow card, but he should just have waited a couple more seconds to allow Alan to have the advantage. Napoli are furious, and the referee, who's done little wrong in this game, probably recognises he's made an error of judgment.
Just watch this though again, as Alan did so well away from two, but a story there, and he pulled the shirt off his back.
There are occasionally, you know, when you think something like that warrants slightly more than a yellow card.
Yeah, it was an unbelievably cynical piece of play. But he won't be too disheartened, will he? A yellow card to have halted that particular attack.
I wouldn't want to see a red card, but maybe there should be something in between a yellow and a red.
Well, this is likely to be the last action of the first half. As the ball into the heart of the penalty area, they were queuing up to get that one away. Albiol finding Insigne in towards Higuain, and it's wide.
Well, he's put his hands to his head because he knows he should have scored. It was a brilliant ball from Insigne, and a free header for Higuain should have hit the back of the net.
Well, Napoli nearly finishing the first half in style there. The delivery from Insigne, and Higuain, it's the first sighting of goal he's really had in the match. And to the frustration of his manager and the vast majority of those inside the stadium, he couldn't finish the job, and it means that at half-time it's Napoli 0, Fiorentina 0. First half highlights coming right up.
Oh, I still have nightmares. That's why I'm asking you to sponsor a Centrepoint room now. Thankfully, people like you help me get a room at Centrepoint. It's safe here. People want to help me. They've taught me how to apply for jobs, plan for the future, and best of all, I'm studying to be a midwife. For the first time, I started to believe things might be okay. But I was lucky. There are thousands of young people who desperately need somewhere safe. It doesn't cost much to help someone, save someone like me. Please give a homeless young person something that's been taken away, the chance to live a decent, happy life. Please call 0800 0356 512 or visit centrepointroom.org.
Suddenly, corners become incredible. Loathing becomes liking. Rubbish days get a bit less rubbish.
What are you doing?
And now Betfair are offering all new customers an enhanced price on the big match. So join today and bet now. Because with Betfair, there's more to play for. Betfair, it's time to tap, tap, boom.
This programme is sponsored by Bet365.
Welcome back to our live coverage of Napoli against table-topping Fiorentina in Serie A. No goals at half-time. The Champions League returns this week. Our coverage on Tuesday night starts with Champions League tonight at 6:30 on BT Sport Europe. It's followed at 7:30 by Arsenal's big game at home to Bayern Munich. That gets our Champions League coverage underway this week. Right, let's take a look back at the first half from the San Paolo in this eagerly awaited encounter between two high-flying teams, and it was Fiorentina who were quicker out of the blocks of the two, showing early attacking intent here with Federico Bernardeschi.
Yeah, it's weak defending from high side, and Alonso puts it in the box. Bernardeschi's shot cannons off his centre-forward Kalinic.
Well, Napoli had half an appeal for a penalty fairly early in the match here, with the midfielder Alan going down under pressure from Marcos Alonso, but I think it was a half-hearted appeal at best, don't you?
Well, I think it's actually outside. You know, he gets himself go side of Alonso, but it's not a penalty.
Fiorentina again early in the match posing more of the problems. Some lovely play from Nikola Kalinic, bringing Jakub Błaszczykowski into the play, bringing the first save of the match as well from Pepe Reina.
A good save, but not great defending from the left-back Gulam, because when Błaszczykowski takes possession, it gives him far too much space, allowing him to come on the inside. A good strong hand from Reina.
Napoli's first shot on goal came from their captain, Marek Hamšík, but fairly straightforward there for Tatarusanu.
Yeah, the best you can say about this is that he actually hits the target, but it's a tame effort and a comfortable save.
Nothing much between the two sides in the first half. Higuain's eyes were lighting up there at the sight of goal, but Milan Badel getting the yellow card after catching the heel of the Napoli striker.
It was quite cynical, wasn't it? He recognised that Higuain was about to pull the trigger.
Here's the resultant free kick. Lorenzo Insigne bringing the save from Tatarashanu. I think saw that one coming all the way.
Comfortable save, two hands, doesn't have to try and push it away with one hand.
That wasn't the only yellow card of the first half. This one, a cynical piece of play by Davide Astori in grabbing Alan's shirt, and also real frustration for Napoli that the referee Luca Banti didn't play advantage there.
No, it was poor refereeing, and he probably recognised that he blew his whistle far too early. Great play from Alan, and uncharacteristic defending from Fiorentina, because they've been so good in this first half.
But Fiorentina were very nearly behind, right on the stroke of half-time, as Albiol's pass found Lorenzo Insigne, and it fell to Higuain, but he couldn't guide the header home.
It's a great ball from Insigne. Higuain just gets off the back of Astori, and really the best chance of the game. Higuain should have put Napoli in the lead.
And that was the very last touch of the first half, and that means that it is goalless between Napoli and Fiorentina. The second half is coming up next.
This programme is sponsored by Bet365.
Something is awakening beyond good, beyond evil.
And so it begins.
Yeah, you're not qualified for what happens next.
The Last Witch Hunter, in cinemas October 21.
While the rich oppressors of Victorian London sleep, are their dreams troubled by the consequences of their inhumanity?
Is there a problem, my lord?
No, nothing that concerns you.
Assassin's Creed Syndicate, out 23rd of October at Sainsbury's, with the Dreadful Crimes missions only on PS4. For the players.
Gareth and Julie, Winston Wolfe. You're looking to insure your house through a price comparison site? Look, if you think you'll only find the best home insurance deal there, then lots of luck.
Coffee, Mr. Wolfe, lots of cream, lots of sugar.
Oh, thanks, Morag. I'll see you crazy kids around.
Drap, your all-new dry cleaning and laundry app. In just a few swipes, your clothes will be collected, professionally cleaned, then returned to you at a time and a place that suits you best. With our free door-to-door collection and delivery service, it's simple, convenient and affordable. Download Laundrap for free today on mobile or tablet and get 5 shirts cleaned free with your first order using voucher code SHIRTOFFER.
Those folks at Paddy Power are so generous they just can't stop giving. Fire up the t-shirt cannon, fella. Who wants one? Oh, Nobby does. Oh, right in the money maker. Referee. They're so generous it hurts. And it doesn't stop there. For all Premier League matches on TV this Saturday and every Saturday in October, bet £20 before the match and they'll give you a free £10 in-play bet. Download the app and bet now. Paddy Power, you're welcome.
What are you doing? Shopping with my new Ocean credit card. It's from Ocean Finance.
Sounds great. How do I get one?
It's easy. Fill in the application at ocean.co.uk.
No one's home, but your heating is still on full? Now there's Tardo, the smart thermostat. Tardo automatically turns your heating off when the last person leaves, then makes it cozy for when you're back. Simply replace your old thermostat and start saving up to 31% on your heating bill. Buy or rent at tardo.com. Can you afford not to?
If you've been refused a loan, don't lose your cool. Visit Amigo Loans. We're fast, friendly and fuss-free. We've already approved over 160,000 people, and every 10 minutes we approve someone new. You can borrow up to £5,000 with a guarantor for whatever you need. Spread your repayments over 1 to 5 years with a representative 49.9% APR variable. So don't lose your cool. Visit amigoloans.co.uk today.
Change your van, transform your business with amazing deals like this Vauxhall Vivaro from just £169 a month.
Oh, fantastic! What a remarkable game! Drama, heat on drama!
Kadira, oh, and that's a sensational goal!
Ferocious, brutal, bruising, all of those apply.
What a great start! Excuse me, I'm going to explode!
Oh my goodness!
Just like that!
This program is sponsored by Bet365.
Welcome back to our coverage from the San Paolo of Napoli against Fiorentina. Nothing between these two sides in the first half, Trevor, but Napoli certainly will feel that they should be ahead after that last-minute chance before the break, perhaps.
Yes, that would have been tough on Fiorentina because they've done well, Fiorentina. They've passed the ball with real confidence, haven't done too much wrong, and you can see why they're top of the league. But often in these close encounters, the second half all of a sudden becomes a different game. I think that it's absolutely imperative in football that you don't concede that first goal, and it's been quite evident the way the two teams have approached this game that has been uppermost in their thinking, not to lose that first goal. It hasn't been the greatest of spectacles, but I'd be more than surprised if the second half wasn't much better. I think it will be. I think that teams will start to find a little bit more space. And I think both teams will look to be a little bit more adventurous because they both feel they can win this game.
Well, absolutely. And so far this season, it's been the big games in which Napoli have impressed. They've beaten Lazio 5-0, Juventus 2-1 at home, 4-0 away at Milan. It's the games where you'd expect them to do a bit better. I mean, they got a draw at home to Sampdoria at the start of the season, but held by Empoli and Carpi away from home. Some of those matches where you think that they'll just get the points, they haven't, but when they've really been tested, they've tended to come up trumps, but they have found it hard. Fiorentina have really closed down all the avenues, haven't they, so far? Been very, very difficult to break down.
Yes, and I always think it's an even more interesting game when you've got a contrast in styles, or a contrast in tactics, I should say. It's an intriguing battle. Two teams that quite clearly are going to be up challenging at the top of the table throughout the season. I think this could be one of the most interesting and fascinating tussles for the Scudetto for a long, long time, because Juventus...
Well, they've given everyone a bit of a head start, haven't they?
Over the last, certainly 2 years, they've won the league by, I think I'm right in saying, 17 points, something ridiculous like that. It's been very, one-way traffic. But I think these two teams, Napoli and Fiorentina, Inter, you can't rule them out. Roma will never have a better chance than this year to win it. I'm loath to say that Juventus are out of it with a long, long way to go, but I'd be astonished if they were to win it again this year. I just think the loss of Vidal, Pirlo, how do you replace Pirlo? And then Tevez, I've already said, for me, was the best player in Italy last year. You just cannot replace three players of that kind of quality.
And of course, Juventus playing later this evening against Inter, the Derby d'Italia, and that match on the European Football Show. Coverage starting at 6:30, a build-up from 6:30 to that game, and it's on BT Sport Europe. So we're finishing off our live football coverage in style this evening with that one. But first, the second half from the San Paolo. Goalless at the break between Napoli and Fiorentina. Half a few clear-cut chances, bags of endeavour. Neither side able to force the breakthrough.
But Napoli are the kind of team where they don't have to be dominating possession, they don't have to be making chance after chance, because with this fella Higuain around, and Insigne in the kind of form that he's in, as we saw on the stroke of half-time, just a lovely little ball. Insigne stands it up, puts it into an area, and he knows that Higuain, with his movement, is going to get on the end of it. What he didn't understand was going to happen, nor did we, that Higuain was going to spill the chance, because by his standards, that was a great opportunity.
Busy week for these two clubs, both of them back in Europa League action this coming week. Napoli, the trip to Denmark to face Midtjylland. They've got a 100% record in the competition so far. Napoli 5-0 winners over Bruges and 2-0 in Warsaw in their last match. Fiorentina beaten in their opening game. Paulo Sousa's old club Basel winning at the Artemio Franchi, but they bounced back with a 4-0 win over Belenenses in Portugal on match day 2. They host Lech Poznan this week in the third game in the group stage. It's Napoli who get us underway in the blue with the white shorts, kicking from right to left during this second half. Jorginho looking for Alain, cut out by Marcos Alonso. And Husay couldn't run past the outstretched forearm of Borja Valero. Forward by Hamšík. Oh, what a pass! Insigne! Oh, what a start to the second half! Less than a minute played in the second half, and Lorenzo Insigne gives Napoli the lead.
What a start for Napoli. Fiorentina caught cold. Wonderful ball from Hamšík inside Tomovic. And the finish, well, it's what we've come to expect this season from Insigne. It was clinical. He knew exactly where he wanted to put this. No suggestion of offside. They're very square at the back. And he doesn't break stride. Insigne, with the inside of his right foot, curls it around the goalkeeper, knows exactly where he wants to put it. It's a wonderful finish.
It was a perfectly placed pass, it was a perfectly timed run, and it was an expertly executed finish. It's Lorenzo Insigne for Napoli, as it has been on several occasions this season. They lead Fiorentina by 1-0, and what a start to the second half. Brilliant piece of play, and Insigne haunts Fiorentina yet again. He scored twice in the 3-1 win against them in the Coppa Italia final last year, and he has now given his team the lead once again. Well, in terms of the game, from a neutral point of view, you've got to be happy with that, haven't you, Trevor? I mean, Fiorentina have got to come out and have a go now in this second half.
It's exactly what I've been talking about. You know, when you've got players of the calibre of Higuain and Insigne, you know that you don't necessarily have to be playing well, because chances will arrive, and these guys have got the ability to finish them.
Sixth goal of the season for Insigne. He really has been a star performer. Koulibaly. Alain gets through a lot of the hard graft in the middle of the pitch. Higuain, oh, and another superb pass. And Napoli are absolutely flying here. Husay, and they'll have to settle for a corner.
Fantastic pass from Higuain, picking out the run of Husay, who gets in behind the Fiorentina defence, but he'll be disappointed with two Napoli players waiting for the cross to come in. He didn't get it past the first man, but it's a whirlwind start from the home team.
Fantastic atmosphere inside this cauldron of a stadium as Napoli breathing fire at the start of the second half. Now, Hamšík there hardly needs to get the crowd involved any more than they are at the moment. Currently at fever pitch in the stands, Tadeuszanu.
But the goal came about from a free kick right on the far touchline. It was Valero who fouled the fullback Husay, and I think it was Albiol who made the pass, a square pass. There's only two passes involved. I think Albiol to Hamšík, played it inside Tomovic.
Here now is Hamšík once again for Napoli. The ball having been won back by Jorginho. Gulam. Insigne. And a return there from Hamšík. Just a little over-ambitious on this particular occasion, but there's the man of the moment, Lorenzo Insigne, although an awful lot of credit also has to go to Hamšík for the ball that he played through to him. Straight down the throat of the defence, away by Albiol. It's Federico Bernardeschi. Tomovic.
It's not the first time that I've seen Insigne score that type of goal. From the moment that ball came in behind Tomovic, he knew exactly what he was going to do. And such an admirer of this young man, I knew that he could execute it. The keeper had no chance, did he? Beautiful finish.
Yeah, beautifully placed. Wojciechowski in field, looking for Bernardeschi, who clearly, I think, was looking for a free kick. Koulibaly. Hussain getting that one inside. Marcos Alonso. And look at him go here, Hussain. Alan up ahead of him, now it's with Higuain. Insigne wanted the ball there, played through, having raced into the penalty area. The attack not over yet. Alan, corner. Well, Insigne looks really frustrated there, Trevor, still inside the penalty area. He felt that he was in a fantastic position.
I just wonder if Higuain had played the ball to him, whether he'd been offside. But the build-up, once again, carved open Fiorentina. How tight did they look first half, Fiorentina?
Dangerous spell for them now, though.
But second half, Napoli have come out and they've really gone for the throats of Fiorentina. That was a beautiful ball again, this time from Callahan, picking out the run of the right full-back Hussain.
Lan up against Borja Valero, flicked on by Insigne, and then just over the top by Callahan. As Callahan, who nearly got a touch on it there, and in the end Higuain at the far post.
Well, by his high standards, it's another glaring miss. Napoli really should be 2-0 to the good.
Meantime, Paulo Sousa is not hanging around, he's making a change. Josip Ilicic, who opened the scoring in the last match before today, the 3-0 win over Atalanta, is on, and Federico Bernardeschi is off. Ilicic was the player who was dropped to the bench for the match this afternoon. A quick response by Paulo Sousa, and at least making one change, but now Napoli pushing forward again, and Ciprian Tatarusanu swiftly out of his penalty area to get the ball away. Fiorentina need to see out the next 5 or 10 minutes safely, don't they, here, with Napoli tails very much up. Easily their best spell of the match thus far. Alan rather hoping for a free kick, but it is a goal kick. Insigne. Hamšík. Jorginho. Is Hussain. Aimless from Albiol. Badel. Wojciechowski. Finding Ilicic, Borja Valero to his right. Lovely pass into Nikola Kalinic. Scrambled behind by the Napoli defence.
Well, how quick is Pepe Reina to come off his line to smother this attempt from Kalinic. Great response from Fiorentina. Ilicic, as you would expect, very much involved. Could have played it to his left, but he decided to go to his top marksman, Kalinic.
Fiorentina looking to strike back, and the best of Reina, puts it behind again for another corner. Much better from Fiorentina. It was an excellent pass in through to Kalinic.
Well, he could have played Valero in on his left-hand side, but he elected to go to his right. And the touch from Kalinic wasn't the tightest, and that gave Reina the chance to come out that little bit quicker to smother his attempt at goal.
Now, Marcos Alonso or Facundo Roncaglia, the Argentina international central defender, is on. Played against Ecuador last weekend. As the ball is headed away by Higuain, all hands on deck for Napoli at the moment here, in defence of their slender one-goal lead. Big early season rendezvous, this one. Napoli with their noses in front, but Fiorentina coming back strongly, having conceded that early second-half goal. And it's another corner kick. Borja Valero wants it short and gets it here. Ilicic nearby. Borja Valero, real threat about Fiorentina here. Fourth corner in quick succession.
Great defending from Callahan. Valero played in, was a little slow delivering, giving Callahan the chance to get the block in.
Real urgency about the play from the Viola here. Ilicic. Wojciechowski out wide. Milan Badel. Insigne gets a touch. Another corner. And the improvisation ultimately sees the ball go behind for a goal kick. Good response from Fiorentina, though, in the last few minutes.
Touch wasn't tight enough, was it, from Kalinic? Just comes away from him, giving Reina the chance to come out, get that little bit closer to make that all-important save. But Kalinic really wasted a good opportunity.
Free kick for the challenge on Jose Callahan. Little reminder that the America's Cup coverage continues on BT Sport 1. That's at 5:30 this afternoon. Concentrating on Serie A at the moment, though. You can't take your eyes off this second half so far.
The game is unrecognisable, isn't it, from the first half? It's like a different game.
Great finish from Insigne. I think half the crowd were barely back in their seats after their half-time espresso. It was a lovely pass from Hamšík. But here comes Callahan now for Napoli! And it was neither testing shot nor pass that was able to pick out Higuain.
Well, he was clearly shooting for goal, but he snatched at it and dragged it well wide of the far post. Actually, it's quite remarkable how much he misses the goal by. Probably about 12 yards.
An animated reaction by Pepe Reina at the other end of the field. We played for the thick end of an hour here now, and still long way to go in this one. And Jorginho beaten to it by Wojciechowski. Koulibaly steps in for Napoli. Badel under pressure. Ball's stuck to his foot like glue there. This is Nenad Tomovic joining in the attack. Ilicic, the substitute, doesn't find Badel, and wasn't picked up by Vecino either. Poor distribution from Napoli in midfield. Tomovic. Can't get the ball past Gulam. Vecino. in towards Ilicic. Hamšík now. Going to bring the ball clear.
The old-fashioned sandwich.
Koulibaly. Hamšík looking to get things moving again. Gulam, Insigne, the goal scorer, looking to feed it through towards Gonzalo Higuain. Interesting that
Błaszczykowski's actually gone to the left-back position, and he's going to find it tough there, one-on-one, having to try and nullify Callahan.
Well, Hysaj will look to get forward as much as possible as well, won't he, on that far side?
Well, he's been doing that very much in this second half from the very, very start. He was obviously told to get forward, try and push Valero back as far as you can, and he's done that.
Well, they love Lorenzo Insigne. No wonder he gets rapturous applause and a standing ovation as he leaves the field. Insigne substituted for the final half an hour. First change of the match by Maurizio Sarri. And Dries Mertens, the Belgian who opened the scoring in this fixture last season, is on to replace him. Mertens coming off the bench for the fourth time already this season. Alain battling away, doing really well. Hysaj, no power. Well, suddenly it's intense and breathless between these two. Fiorentina know that they're playing like a team who know they don't have a moment to lose here in trying to get back into this one.
But clearly the role of Tomovic has changed. He's now playing on this right-hand side as a wing-back, looking to push forward whenever he possibly can. He was at fault, of course, for the goal, playing then as the right-sided defender in a back three. He was guilty of getting too square on and allowing that ball to come on the inside of him. It was a good ball from Hamšík, but it should never have been allowed to get through like it did to Insigne.
Shame he's gone off in a way, isn't it, from a neutral point of view, Insigne, because he's one of the players that you like to watch. Really good player to keep an eye on. Mertens, I think, has got plenty to offer as well. Koulibaly, well, Koulibaly is going to get a card here from the referee.
Well, the tackle from behind, as we all know, is illegal. Koulibaly goes straight through the back of Kalinic.
Do you know, for a moment there, I was just trying to remember and have a quick look at my notes to see whether he'd gone in the book for that clattering challenge on Borja Valero in the first half. But he didn't, so it was rather fortuitous, I think. He could easily have been booked for that.
"62 minutes on the clock, and they're changing the ball." Well, that's an interesting one.
Quite sure what the issue there is. Been knocked out of shape. New ball. And Fiorentina on the front foot here as they try to get back into this one. It's Josip Ilicic, Slovenian international, who is lining up to take this free kick.
He's got a great left foot on him, but surely he can't be striking this. It's too far out.
Ilicic with the delivery, and that's the easiest header of the afternoon for Fauzi Gula. And Mertens, a substitute, coming racing across to challenge Tomovic. Gulam away from Ilicic. Back from Jorginho. Nicely done by Koulibaly. Versailles has got much more space to run into now. Callejon. Albiol had to get that out from underneath his toes pretty quickly there under pressure. Milan complaining to the referee after that challenge with Milan Badel. Tomovic, running by Ilicic and Koulibaly, aiming his jump well, getting his head to the ball. Doesn't fall kindly for Borja Valero. Aside.
I think Valero's somewhat wasted over on that left-hand side, having to track back and forward the runs of Isai. He wants to be more central, where he can get on the ball and start to dictate a little bit how Fiorentina are going to get back into this game.
Comes the referee, and it's another yellow card for Kundo Roncaglia, who hasn't been on the field for very long. Roncaglia, one of those players who's racked up a fair few air miles again in the last week or so. He played for Argentina at home to Ecuador last week, and he was on the bench in Paraguay on Wednesday night. But for the last 25 minutes or so of this one.
One or two more challenges like that, and he'll be having an early bath.
Close at the midway point of the second half. Callejon gets the throw off the makeshift fullback, Wojciechowski. We've got more live football for you today across the continent in Ligue 1. Bordeaux at home to Montpellier this afternoon. It's on BT Sport 2 from 3:45, while on BT Sport Europe at 4:30 it's Stuttgart versus Ingolstadt from the Bundesliga. And finally a big one for you on the European football show tonight. Build up from 6:30, the Derby d'Italia, Inter against Juventus. But at the moment we're concentrating on events at the San Paolo. Big weekend in Serie A. Normally Inter Juve would take all the headlines, but this one also very much an eagerly awaited encounter. Fiorentina, top of the table, 10 points ahead of Juventus going into the weekend. But here now come Napoli, and a rather wasted opportunity by Elsed Hysaj, the fullback.
Was wasted. Took advantage of some poor defending. Just got a little bit overexcited with his attempt at picking out a colleague with a cross.
But Hysaj certainly looks to be enjoying himself rather more in the second half than he did in the first, when Alonso was on the pitch. Koulibaly. 3/4 of the way through the match. Auzigula challenged and fouled by Nikola Kalinic. Be a free kick for the home side here. Little lull in the play after that intensity that we had in the first period of the second half. Marek Hamšík. They play. Quite have enough to get the ball past Wojciechowski, but Callejon would have been cleaning on goal if he had done so.
I was about to say, if that ball had been just lifted a little higher over the head of Wojciechowski to the feet of Callejon, Callejon's eyes would have lit up there, one-on-one against a makeshift wing-back.
Gonzalo Rodriguez, oh, he's made a terrible mistake. Alan picking up the pieces, but the pass not really good enough initially at least. Here's Callejon now for Napoli. Initial block made, Callejon wide.
Oh, Fiorentina this second half were unrecognisable. They've made one or two changes which really has disrupted them. Gonzalo Rodriguez caught in possession. Napoli, well, they may pay for these chances they're missing, because they've had 3 or 4 really gilt-edged chances.
Yeah, what's the saying? You need to make hay while the sun's shining. Certainly had a couple of opportunities, but 1-0 it is. Here's Jorginho for Napoli, heading towards the last 20 minutes of the game. Alain. And under the challenge of Błaszczykowski. Aside, Jorginho. Napoli's ball. Napoli with a good record against today's opponents in recent times. They've won 5 of the last 7 matches against them in Serie A in recent seasons. Callejon looking to get in behind the defence, and Davide Astore finds Błaszczykowski. Too high for Ilicic. Gulam. Gets the little flick. Gulam. Tremendous ball in towards Higuain. Cut out by Astore at the vital moment.
Well, Astore gets lucky here because he does well to cut out the cross, because I think it was Higuain who was coming in and probably would have scored, but he could so easily have put it into his own net.
A superb play down the left-hand side from Napoli, and very nearly perfectly placed for Higuain in the centre. 20 minutes to go, 1 goal in it. The lead is behind. Remember, Fiorentina only beaten once all season. Can't pick out Kalinic this time. Beaten 3-1 away at Torino early in the season. The only defeat thus far. Callejon, Higuain straining every sinew to get there. And Roncaglia with time to clear. Here's Ilicic. Błaszczykowski outside Borja Valero. Vecino. Able to find Kalinic this time, Dries Mertens. Just got off the boot of Callejon there. Albiol swiftly in ahead of Valero. Touched by Ilicic, looking for Nikola Kalinic. Here's a chance, and there's an equalising goal. Nikola Kalinic for Fiorentina.
Well, some 10 minutes ago, Ilicic set up Kalinic, and he couldn't finish. On the second occasion, the same 2 players involved, and on this occasion, Kalinic makes no mistake. The key to this goal is the ball from Ilicic, played first time, fantastic pass, what vision he shows in behind the defender, and with the outside of his right foot, Kalinic beats Pepe Reina with ease.
And we're back to square one here in this game, but what a brilliant pass it was from Ilicic for Kalinic to finish for his 6th goal of the season.
It was a fantastic pass, but he knew exactly what he wanted to do, Ilicic, before the ball arrived to him. With his left foot, he just stroked that ball in behind the defender Koulibaly, picking out the run of Kalinic. It was a superb pass. The finish wasn't too bad either.
Absolutely, and as the pendulum started swinging Fiorentina's way, will the response be like from Napoli now? It's with Callejon. Jorginho. Callejon looking for Marek Hamšík. Higuain is there, held up by Roncaglia. Attempted clearance, takes a little ricochet off Alain. Back with Hamšík once again. Defensive wall does its job. Koulibaly though into Dries Mertens, trying to tiptoe his way through. Higuain, good save, and then it goes wide off Mertens.
Well, I think Mertens was offside, but he still should have scored. Shot comes in from Higuain, saved by the goalkeeper Tatarusanu, but Mertens, he wasn't to know the linesman had already put his flag up.
And now it's with Vecino. It's going to be an absolutely fascinating final quarter of an hour plus of this game now with Callejon. Napoli certainly not looking as though they're settling for a point from this game. The flag goes up again quickly against Mertens once more. You know, they need the points, don't they, to really get right in there with the teams up at the top. They're half a dozen points behind at the moment after the first 7 games. Been finding their feet under their new coach. But certainly performing pretty well. And now here comes Gonzalo Higuain. Higuain! 2-1! And Fiorentina were not level for long. Napoli's lead is restored, and it's Gonzalo Higuain with his 6th goal of the season.
Well, Ilicic has gone from hero to villain. I was praising him a couple of minutes ago for a quite exquisite pass, but on this occasion here, he gets caught in possession. Higuain dispossesses him, goes for the 1-2, and then Higuain, despite the attention of Ilicic, shrugs him off, and he's not going to miss with his left foot. When it matters, Higuain is the master, and he puts Napoli back into the lead.
2 goals in 3 minutes, one at either end of the field, and Napoli with a slender 2-1 lead going into the final 15 minutes of the game. And the atmosphere in the San Paolo is vibrant once again. The perfect response, having been pegged back from Sarri's side. Are Fiorentina going to slip to only their 2nd defeat of the season? Remember, 6 wins out of 7 before today in the league. Still plenty of time for a chance or 2. And Tomovic gets the throw-in off Fauzi Gulen. Napoli ahead for the 2nd time in the game. Vecino looking to find a way through. And suddenly they're enjoying their Sunday afternoon out. Rather more than they were 3 minutes before. That's why they're so happy. Great finish by Higuain. But the tactical discussions never stop between Sarri and his players. Even in a moment of high excitement, Sarri still imparting instructions to Koulibaly, one of his central defenders. Story, Borja Valero, Rostchikovsky on the far side of the field. This is Facundo Roncaglia. This will break up the play for a moment or 2. As the physio comes on. About to see a change here. Puma Babacar on for Fiorentina, and Omar El Kaddouri about to come on for Napoli as well. No tactical change, I think, from Paulo Sousa. Nenad Tomovic is the player who's gone off for Fiorentina. Now here comes Alan to the near touchline. It's not the player who is going off. The player being substituted is a substitute, Dries Mertens, who's not been on the field for very long. So whether Mertens has an injury, yeah, it looks like he possibly has. But that was a short day's work for Dries Mertens. Omar El Kaddouri, attacking midfield player, Moroccan, spent 2 season-long loans at Torino the last couple of years. He's on then for Napoli for what remains of the match. So Babacar on for Fiorentina and El Kaddouri on for Napoli. is Ilicic, who created the goal that Fiorentina have scored, but not quite so good with the through ball this time. How about that for a turn from Higuain? And look at him go here now. He's got support as well. El Kaddouri, the substitutes, in loads of space, but Astori gets the final touch to bring the attack to a halt. It's end to end here now as Fiorentina to pick themselves up off the canvas for the second time in the match. Few words there between Kalinic and Reina. It's Callejon. Alan. Jorginho had to stretch there. Ilicic has it back. Fiorentina far from done in this match. Again, excellent close control from Nikola Kalinic, Fiorentina's goal scorer. Wojciechowski will get the throw. Inside the last 10 minutes. Gonzalo Rodriguez. And Matias Vecino. Roncaglia. It is Astori. Wojciechowski. Whipping that one in. Cut out by Jorginho. Time to drag it away, and Alan, I think, had to just get it off his boot quickly there as Astori closed him down.
Yeah, I don't think it was the cleverest of balls from Jorginho. Alan under extreme pressure. The ball should really have gone long from Jorginho.
Roncaglia trying to surge forward up towards the penalty area. And Gulam rather muscled out a bit by Roncaglia. Thought for a moment there the referee was allowing play to go on, but he does bring it back. Robust challenge on the Napoli fullback. A heated discussion there between Borja Valero and the referee. Well, his team have got 8 or 9 minutes to try and do something about this. Are Napoli going to come up trumps in one of the really big games again already this season?
I would say that having been in front now twice and had as many chances as they've had in this second half, they'll be hugely disappointed if they don't take all 3 points from this game.
Say that again, they've certainly had a few opportunities, haven't they? Forward by Albiol, and now here's Callejon. They may have 1 or 2 more between now and the final whistle. Touched by El Kaddouri into Alan, who's away from Wojciechowski but not from Astori. Pick from Badel. Borja Valero. Referee inadvertently getting in the way for a moment. Vecino. Borja Valero. Koulibaly coming across. And it will be a throw-in for Napoli. Headed forward by Facundo Roncaglia. Gonzalo Rodriguez underneath this one. Roncaglia forced back to his goalkeeper here, Tatarusanu. Story had to get that right.
He panicked there, didn't he?
He could have been in really deep water there.
Talk about calmness. Callejon was closing in like a steam train. He must have felt him coming behind him, but he was so confident of his first touch.
Hamšík wins the ball and then goes down. The challenge from Roncaglia. Roncaglia The sub has already had his name taken by the referee. Carlos Sousa doing his fruit on the touchline. Hamsik, as you can see, back on his feet. No damage done. They take chances, don't they, in and around their own penalty area, Fiorentina at times. Called by Babacar, the substitute, but decisively thumped forward by Pepe Reina. 2/3 length of the pitch there, up towards Callejon. Higuain's goal, as you can see, that separates the two sides, and Jorginho now looks to make it a more decisive lead. Higuain, El Kaddouri in the middle, Hamsik just behind the D. Inside the last 5 minutes of the 90 here. Here's Gulam now. Gets the free kick for the challenge by Gonzalo Rodriguez.
I'm not so sure that Gulam's manager will be that pleased to see him marauding forward. With just 4 minutes of the game left when you're leading 2-1, but there's no doubt about the foul. Gonzalo Rodriguez put his leg out, knew exactly what he was looking to do, and I agree, it was cynical, it merited a yellow card.
I'm starting to run a little short for the leaders here. Some defending to do as well before they can hope to get the ball back. Won the last two on the road before today. Fiorentina 4-1 at Inter, 1-0 at newly promoted Carpi, but they'd settled for scraping a draw now. Omar El Kaddouri for Napoli. Albiol.
I don't know if you noticed, but when El Kaddouri was about to take that free kick, the whole of his back four just stayed back on the halfway line. It's sensible. No risk at all then for a counter-attack. Wasn't a great free kick, to be honest, because you shouldn't be hitting the wall as he did there. Should be testing the goalkeeper. It was a decent scoring opportunity.
Especially when there's only 2 or 3 players in the wall to start with. 2.5 minutes to go, plus any added time. Bit of space here now for El Said Hassai. And for Callejon. Hassai continuing his run, getting in behind Wojciechowski. Well, for a moment at least. Story. Oh, it was a terrible ball. They were rather lucky to get it away.
They've done that once or twice in this second half. You know, electing to go short. It's one thing keeping possession, but when you're around your own penalty box, you can't take risks there. If it has to go long, it goes long.
Roncaglia giving the ball away there, and Jorginho almost feeding it through to Higuain into the last 2 minutes of regulation time. Callejon. Napoli edging closer to the line. Not quite home and hosed yet. Now it's with Koulibaly. Gulam. Taking on Borja Valero in a foot race, and Roncaglia as well. And he's done well here, in towards Higuain, who goes down under the challenge of Tatarusanu. And he'll give the referee an absolute earful. But Fiorentina bring the ball away.
What a fantastic run that was, and when that ball came in, I thought Higuain would have made a better contact, because it was an opportunity. But rather than keeping his eye on the ball, I think he had one eye on the goalkeeper.
Meanwhile, here come Fiorentina. David Lopez, by the way, is waiting to come on for what remains of the game. Wojciechowski into Ilicic. Babacar can't get it out from under his feet. Koulibaly with the clearance. Now it's Borja Valero. This is Vecino. 3 inside the penalty area. A header away by Jorginho. Last minute of the 90. Astori's ball in. And the flag goes up against Kalinic.
Higuain felt that it should have been a penalty, but I disagree. I think his momentum took him into the goalkeeper.
Alan is the player being brought off here as we go into added time. Certainly got through some work in this one, Alan. And David Lopez is on, off the bench for the 5th time this season. Just the 1 start for him thus far. Defensive midfield player they signed from Espanyol last year. But he's been an excellent acquisition, Alan, thus far. Just the 5 minutes of added time. We are not done yet. One in the air by Gula. Here's Hamšík. Borja Valero.
That should be Napoli's throw-in.
No wonder Sarri is going mad on the touchline. Napoli should have to throw there. Borja Valero was happy to see that roll out. He felt that it was his, but it's not. That'll waste a few more seconds for the home team. Hamšík with the header on. Itadrashanu's ball. They can hang on here. This would be a big result, wouldn't it, given the way the early season has panned out?
I think they'll continue to climb the table. I said at the start of the game that I think that their league position is actually a false one at this moment. They will clearly be one of the teams challenging for the Scudetto.
Kept in play. It's Lopez, Higuain. Hamšík alongside him, El Kaddouri up there as well. It's into Omar El Kaddouri here now for Napoli. Slight hesitation and forced out wide.
Well, when he received the ball from Higuain, he should be hitting that first time. I wouldn't think that he's got a great goal-scoring record. Look at the way that he accepted that chance.
Didn't quite have the conviction, did he?
No, he didn't. You can imagine Mertens or Insigne in that position. I think we'd be looking at a scoreline now of 3-1.
Insigne and Alan hoping that the job is done. There's Kuma Babacar. He's going to head towards the far post area. Header away by Raul Albiol. And Napoli need to stand firm here for 2 more minutes as Borja Valero centres it, and Albiol, the experienced man at the heart of the defence, is there once again. Koulibaly with the header away. Babacar, and then walloped clear by Hysaj, only as far as Wojciechowski. Deep into added time. Fiorentina desperately searching a late equaliser.
Well, that wasn't the greatest idea from Valero to try and play it into a wide area there to Ilicic. Not a great pass. Surely with a minute remaining on the clock, that should be going up front. Got 3 central strikers there at the moment. One of them trying to get on the end of it and try and fashion an opportunity.
Last minute of added time here. Napoli worth the win for you, Trevor?
Oh, absolutely. First half was a little bit of a non-event, apart from the chance on the stroke of half-time that Higuain missed. But second half, it's been a great watch. Napoli have been outstanding, and they fully deserved the 3 points.
Been some good football from Napoli in this second half. Perhaps time for one last attack for Fiorentina as they search for a last gasp equaliser. And Borja Valera launches it forward. Koulibaly is there. And Pepe Reina will be happy to see the ball roll to the edge of his penalty area. And time all but up for Paulo Sousa and his team today. They look to be heading for a second defeat of the season, but Napoli under their new coach just getting better and better as the weeks go by, and it is a big win for Maurizio Sarri and a big win for Napoli. It was an excellent second half. Lorenzo Insigne giving them the lead, Nikola Kalinic with the equaliser, but 3 minutes later Higuain made it 2-1. It was a decisive moment in the game, and it means that Napoli take the points. Don't forget the Derby d'Italia tonight, live on BT Sport Europe. It's on the European Football Show. The build-up to Inter against Juventus starts at 6:30, but Napoli collect all 3 points, a big 3 points against the table's top side so far, Fiorentina. 2-1 the final score. Thank you for watching, but from Trevor Francis and me, Simon Brotherton, it's goodbye for now.
This programme is sponsored by Bet365.
We shouldn't have homeless young people in this country, really. We should make sure everybody's got a home.
Harry Redknapp's World Cup journey. This Wednesday on BT Sport 2.
Champions League tonight kicks off another week of action on BT Sport Europe. Tuesday, we'll have every game exclusively live, including Dynamo Kiev Chelsea on BT Sport 2, while back on BT Sport Europe, Arsenal play Bayern Munich, live from 7:30.
This week, goals, goals and more goals. Bayern's man of the moment, Robert Lewandowski. Putting the pieces in place, CSKA Moscow prepare for a crucial game in the Russian capital. And Atletico Madrid hoping to weave their way into UEFA Champions League contention.
Robert Lewandowski, Bayern Munich.